Hi everyone, I'm Tom and today I'm going to be showing you Mons and Mages. In this game we play as wizards, competing in a tournament to show off summoning monsters and do the best things and impress the audience on that. The normal mode plays 2 to 4 players, but there is a solo mode as well where you fight a boss. In the normal mode everyone gets health depending on the player count, and the last player standing wins the game. This is on Kickstarter right now. I'll put a link in the corner of the screen and in the description to the campaign page, so you can see all the final stuff. This is a prototype, but it should give you a good idea of how the game works. So let's have a look. I've set up for a 2-player game here, and I am the first player. So on my turn, you do a stun check first. See how many stun tokens you have. If you've got 3 or more, you have to take a stun turn where you don't get to do very many things at all. Mainly recover from being stunned. Then you get your income. You get sponsor income every turn no matter what, which is just 1 runestone to add to your starting amount. You get 8, but you also get given a basic trick, a special ability that you'll have throughout the game that you have to pay for. So my particular one gives me an extra icon that will be useful for some abilities, but it did cost me a runestone and caused me to get 1 stun token, which is fine for now, but it could be something to worry about later on. You can also get income from your meditation cards. You can take 2 runestones off each card, but at the moment, there's nothing on there. Then you can take an action. You can either collect a card from the wild, the display up there, or you can meditate. So meditating is the quickest thing that you'll want to do to keep an income coming in. You can put 1 to 3 runestones on an empty meditate card. So if I chose to put 3 on there, an equal amount would come from the supply, and that would be my action. We'd move on to the rest of the turn. But in the future, next time I came for income, I'd get the 1 from the sponsor, but then I'd be able to take 2 off this card. And if I meditated again on this, I'd be taking a load extra off the card. So sometimes you need to spend some turns building up your income again. So the other action, and the one you'll want to do the most, is collect a card from the wild. This is the wild. There are certain origins in the game. You choose a number equal to the number of players plus 1. So in our 2-player game, there's 3 of them. We're playing with Dragon, Woodland, and Ghost. But there are 5 in the game as I have it at the moment. And there's also 3 originless Mons that will come out in the game as well. And they all have a variety of stats that might be referenced by abilities. They'll have an icon showing their origin, which will trigger a power when you collect them, when you recruit them, when you play them. They have a cost, some extra icons that might trigger some things, a strength value, which is how much damage they will deal to all other players when they get to attack, some one-off or perhaps ongoing abilities, and then a powerful class, skill, and spell that will be triggered when enough mana is built up. So that's how I wanted to collect a monster. I'd collect the Crimson Spike over here. That's going to cost me 4 runestones, which is fine, I can afford that. And then this icon here is the same as on my starting ability. It's actually going to give me another stun token. Some of the monsters are more unruly, more difficult to handle than others, so I'm not far off needing to basically skip a turn. And then once you've played the card, you work down from top to bottom the abilities that it has, and there's a little marker to remind you where you are on the card. Basically, the first thing that happens is its origin ability, and all of the origins remind you what their ability is. For Woodland, you gain mana equal to half the number of woodland on your board rounded up, and then you distribute that mana across your Mons, but each Mon can only get 1 mana each. So 1 divided by 2 rounded up gives me 1 mana. I only have 1 person that I can give it to. So I put the mana on the Crimson Spike there. Once it has 3 mana, it will discharge and its abilities will go off, its class power and its special spell. So we've activated its origin ability, then we would activate any immediate ability if it had something here with a lightning bolt on it, and then we would activate any kind of ongoing things that it has. So in this case, it does 0 damage at the moment when it gets to attack. It has an ability that says the first time the 3rd, 6th or 9th growth is placed on me, deal 3. So whenever it says deal 3, that's damage that's being dealt to all other players. You're not targeting people in this. These are growth tokens that are placed on Mons to increase their strength value. There are plenty of abilities that can do this, but Crimson Spike does have one in its spell. So when it's full up of mana, it will gain 2 growth. And that's how you can get it to trigger its ability when the 3rd, 6th, and 9th is placed on. Whenever you play a Mon as well, you get to remove 1 of these cubes from these stage cards. Now you can play a simple version of the game where these are just stage cards, and once the cubes are gone, they are out of here, and it makes it easier for you to activate your Mons later, as we'll see. Or in the full version of the game, on the other side of these cards are advanced tricks, advanced powers that you can have, and once you've cleared them all away, you get to choose 1 to activate. So that's everything about collecting a card from the wild. Then we activate our staff, move the staff forward 1 space, and activate the card that it lands on. Now these stage cards are kind of just blockers. They're just in the way of your staff doing great things. They do nothing when they activate here. But in a few turns' time, or perhaps with other abilities that move the staff, like getting a ghost. Move the staff forward up to X spaces and activate the card it lands on. X is the number of ghosts on your board. So they are great for moving the staff around and activating it extra times. So if we had done something that had made the staff go onto our creature, if any runestones had ended up on our mon, we would get them. So sometimes you can get extra income from things. It would attack with its strength value, which at the moment is 0, but hopefully would get boosted by growth and other things like that. And then it would get 1 mana on it. And there are other ways of gaining mana as well. Once it has enough on it to activate its ability, or perhaps more, you remove mana equal to the cost. So it'd be 3 in this case. And then you do the class ability and then the spell. So the class abilities all do some very different things. In this case, it's fighter. Roll fighter dice equal to its strength, and then deal a damage for every 2 dots rolled. There are a load of faces on this referencing dragons, referencing just normal damage, all sorts of things. So it wouldn't do anything in its first attack unless it had got growth from some other source. Then it does its spell, gets 2 growth, and in the future it's going to deal more damage when it activates. It's going to get to roll dice for the fighter ability. So after you've activated the staff, if you've got no stage cards left, you can pick one of them as an advanced trick for you to use. And if you've now got 9 or more monster cards, then you can deal 5 damage to everyone as kind of an extra bonus, and then you don't ever check for that again. It's just a one-off when you've got a load of creatures out. So as the game goes on, we will be collecting more of these mons, activating them, combining them to pull off some big combos. For example, here, if the staff moves to activate Umbella, who does 0 damage, unfortunately, but the 1 mana that Umbella gains is enough to discharge. Umbella is a diffuser. 2 mons adjacent to this mon gain a mana. So that's going to be the Crimson Spike and Flaming Pride. So this mana is spent. We've done the class ability, Bracing Rain. Place a runestone on each adjacent mon that is full of mana. Well, they've just been filled up with mana through that ability, and then we can choose what order we want to activate these. Once we've finished resolving something, then you can choose which one. So Flaming Pride over here is a magic addict. You can remove a mana from another card on your board to have this mon cast its spell an additional time, and its spell is gaining a growth, which doesn't seem that great, but it's got a very special condition. Once 3 cards are on your board, at the end of everyone else's turn, if they don't have a mon with greater strength than Flaming Pride, which at the moment is 2, it deals 2 damage to them. And so it would be very important to get growth on Flaming Pride. And then Crimson Spike would also activate. Later on in the game, we've activated some more things. It's now got 6 growth and 6 strength on it. It's not dealing the damage because it's not being activated by the staff, but its spell, remember, lets it roll dice equal to its strength. It would roll 6 dice, deal a damage to everyone for every 2 dots rolled. So that is 6 damage. And then gains 2 growth, giving it 8 even more powerful next time. When it gets 9 on it, it's going to deal 3 damage to everyone. And you can keep growing and chaining things like that. What about Parallel's ability here? For a start, its ongoing thing lets you spend health as runestones, which is a bit risky, but could be the key to not having to waste a turn building up money to get a really powerful mon out. And then once its spell's triggered, it comes in with 2 strength, so you'd get to roll 2 dice for its fighter ability, and then Peculiar Flow. Switch 2 mons positions. If you do, you can redistribute their mana and or growth to each other. So it might halt Crimson Spike's growth ambitions here, but we could swap it with Flaming Pride, redistribute the growth so that all that growth is on Flaming Pride. Not only will it hit really hard when its turn comes around, it's not a fighter, so there's some risk involved in that, but its ability Fire Trial, everyone else would have to have a massive amount of strength to not take the damage at the end of all of their turns. There are tons of combos to make as you build up, start these mons interacting with each other, and when the last damage is done and you're the last one standing, then you win the game. So in this little setup, we have the dragon type that are aggressive, can be very big hitters, but can also hit you back a lot as well because they're wild and untamed. The woodland like to make abilities repeat and bolster other mons. The ghosts, as we can see, like to kind of bend the rules and manipulate things on your board, all the swapping around and moving the growth about and stuff. But there's also the siren class that do a lot of stunning just when you get them and are generally more interactive if you want some more direct stuff in the game. And there are the giants that can shelter other cards a lot more effectively, which also moves the cards around in themselves. And it gives everyone an extra card that they start the game out with. So there we go, there's a quick look at Mons and Mages. If you'd like to see the game in action, I have done a full 2-player playthrough for this, where you can see us go through a full game. I'll put the link for that in the description as well. The Kickstarter page is linked there so you can see all of the campaign stuff and how to get a hold of the game, how to make it happen. And there's plenty more videos on this channel if you'd like to see some more. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye everyone.